Welcome to the Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. I'm Mike Stanley. Our guest today is Andrew Briggs. Plays on the golf team at Jefferson County High School. Also an avid Patriot fan. Has a brother that plays for the basketball team. I'd like to welcome you guys to our weekly segment of the week sports in review. We'll cover anything from Vols football, Vols basketball, to high school sports as well. On the show, we'll talk about anything from Vols football, basketball, to Jefferson County High School football, basketball, baseball, and softball as well. Andrew, thanks for joining us on our very first show.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah. On today's show, we're going to talk about the Lady Patriots basketball. We're going to jump back a couple weeks since we're just starting out. We'll also talk about the Patriots as well, and of course Tennessee Volunteers bowl game, Tax Slayer Bowl down in Jacksonville as they defeated Iowa 45-28. Where I also had the opportunity to be on the sidelines for the Tax Slayer Bowl. Got to cover the game between Iowa and Tennessee, where obviously Tennessee dominated the football game. I got to meet the likes of Dylan Hart Jr., Coach Butch Jones, and many of the players. It was a great opportunity for me to be able to be on the sideline. We're going to jump right into the bowl game. Obviously Tennessee got off to a fast start, scoring on all four of their first possessions, and Iowa wasn't able to recover. Andrew, talk a little bit about what you saw during the ball game, maybe watching it at home on TV.
Well, obviously Tennessee was clearly the better team out there against Iowa, scoring on their first four possessions, and Iowa not being able to stop them all game. And Coach Butch Jones really had a good plan going out there and attacking that Iowa team, and all the credit towards him. But I thought it was a strong showing for them in their first bowl game in
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. By the time they took the field, it was I think the likes of 1,463 days since their last bowl game. But yes, like you said, give the coaching staff credit. I think if you give this coaching staff a month to prepare for almost anybody, that they'll be able to compete with almost anybody in the country. Especially when you have Jalen Hurd running for 122 yards.
Yeah.
Just as a freshman. He came out and he seemed like a different runner, specifically in the bowl game than he was all season. Then of course the play of the first half was the double pass from senior Marlon Lane to freshman Vic Wharton, who caught his first touchdown as a volunteer in the bowl game. And Tennessee led 35-7 at halftime. Going through some first half plays to note. Iowa had a big 4th and 1 where the Tennessee defense was able to stop them and basically stop any kind of momentum Iowa was able to gain in the first half.
Iowa really, they thought they had some momentum coming out of the first half, right at halftime, and then Tennessee really stopped that with their defense in the early second half.
Yeah, Tennessee went on to lead the game 42-7 at one point. Of course, led by their defense in many ways. Iowa was able, like I said before, to score late in the ball game against Tennessee's backups and make the score respectable at 45-28. Tennessee was able to win their first bowl game in 3 years, the Tax Slayer Bowl in Jacksonville. Now we're going to jump into Lady Patriot basketball, where the Lady Patriots have seen some recent success. They started out the Land Air Ladies Classic in Greenville on December 27th. Right, it was during the holidays. They opened up with Mount Juliet, and Mount Juliet was the team to put them out of the state tournament last season. They held on close for the first half. Mount Juliet again just a stronger team at the end, and they really asserted themselves. They had more size down low than Jefferson County does, and really just just took advantage of their size in the second half as Mount Juliet defeated Jefferson County 64-49 in the first round of the Ladies Land Air Classic. The Jefferson County was able to rebound from that loss as they defeated Chucky Doak, North Green, and also in the 7th place game they were able to defeat Cocke County to finish 7th in that tournament. The tournament held 20 teams from all over the state and some out-of-state teams as well. Andrew, talk a little bit about what you've seen from the girls basketball team this season. Maybe not just at the Land Air Classic and since then, but early season as well.
Well, the girls really they've got a lot of talent on their team, a lot of young talent on their team with only one senior in the starting lineup with Brooke Taylor. But they came all season, had some big wins at West, which is a big district win, and Coach Centered has got them rolling. They play hard on both ends of the floor. They just had some tough losses in the district, which I think they'll rebound with that and be stronger in the postseason.
Yeah, much like you said, a big win against Morristown West. Morristown West is obviously a top 10 basketball team in Class 3A. Going back to Tuesday of this week, they traveled to Seymour, where they didn't get off to a great start. And I think it was 18-13 at halftime, but then really came on in the second half and was able to win that game 48-35 and improve in district play and actually share the lead going into Cocke County last night. And then of course Friday evening they fell to Cocke County after being up for much of the game, pretty much 3/4 of the game. Jefferson County led, but it was that last quarter where it just seemed like Jefferson County was hustling, maybe not getting the calls that they needed to get to prevail.
They were right there on the edge all game and had led the game, commanded the game most of all the game, and came down to the last quarter and I think it was 41-38, and they couldn't ever convert. They missed some layups and some easy chip shots that they should have made, but they definitely had their opportunities to win that game.
Yeah, I know after the game, Coach Centered, that was one of his points were not necessarily the officiating being not what they wanted, but the fact that our ladies couldn't convert underneath the goal. And I think moving forward, if Jefferson County is to make a run back at the state tournament, those are shots that obviously they're going to have to take advantage of moving forward in district play, of course into region and maybe sub-state.
Yeah, those shots are definitely going to have to fall to make that run.
As it was, the Lady Patriots did fall to Cocke County by a score of 50-46 and fall to 5-2 in the IMAC conference, 13-6 overall. They hold a share of second place in the conference. They finally get to come home. They've played 19 games either on a neutral site or on the road this season. Now they get these last 9 or 10 ball games at home. What are the things that they'll have to do at home that maybe they couldn't do on the road?
Well, definitely I think the one advantage that they'll have is a big home crowd for them, because both these basketball teams are good basketball teams, and the community wants to come out and watch them and support them, and so that will definitely be a huge advantage. And the players feed off that big a big crowd that gets them pumped up, and that they play better under that. And so I think that'll be a big advantage for them.
Yeah, Tuesday night at 6:30 they host South Doyle. South Doyle, kind of a hard team to grasp. They're 8-7 overall in the season. Jefferson County will hold a size advantage down low, and I think that's something they're going to have to take advantage of against South Doyle.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to go inside and work the ball inside. And their guards are also a whole lot more quicker and got a size advantage a little bit more on the guards there, so I think they'll have to take advantage there.
Mm-hmm. They also host Sevier County on Friday night. Sevier County, they're 11-7 overall, 4-3 in the conference. Right on the heels of Jefferson County. They're a hot team right now. They've won 4 in a row. I think they have a tough schedule this week leading up to Jefferson County. I think they go to Morristown West, to Maryville before they come to Dumpling Valley to play the Patriots. I think the main thing there is to get Sevier County maybe when they're tired and they're not so hot.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing because they do have one of the best players in the conference with Brittany Tarr. She's one of the best big men, and that'll be a tough stop inside, so maybe they'll be a little bit fatigued and play in the Patriots' hands a little bit.
Yeah. Again, the Lady Patriots will host South Doyle at 6:30 on Tuesday night, and at 6 o'clock on Friday night they will host Sevier County. We will jump now going forward to the Patriots, and they've really asserted themselves late. They started out 1-3 overall. They've now won 14 of their last 16 ball games, I think it is. And especially in the Arby's Classic, they started out with Mariner, a team from Florida, a team that was really high ranked coming out of Florida in one of the larger the larger divisions in Florida high school basketball, and they were able to prevail. They won that game by 10 points, and that really jump started them through the Arby's Classic.
Yeah, it really gave them a lot of momentum forward by going to play a tough opponent with Davy Crockett. But that Mariner team was a good basketball team that they beat, and I think that really propelled them on throughout the tournament.
Yeah, you spoke a little bit about the Davy Crockett game. Down, I think it was 16 midway through the third quarter, and Jefferson County really just out-hustled Davy Crockett the rest of the game and forced them to turn the ball over and was able to win that game 70-63. Behind your brother, Kyle, he had 27 points, as well as John Bryant had 23. And I think the local radio station up there was calling them
the Killer Bees.
Yeah. So that really got them started. They fell to North Mecklenburg, North Carolina in the Arby's Classic, the eventual winner of that tournament. For those that don't know, the Arby's Classic is a 20-team holiday tournament. It's a national tournament. There were teams from Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, New York, obviously Tennessee, and a team from out in Los Angeles, California. And for Jefferson County they did fall to North Mecklenburg, but then they came back against Dorsey High School out of Los Angeles. And really, the game wasn't close in the second half. And Dorsey was really an athletic basketball team, and Jefferson County was able to put them away early in the second half.
Yeah, Jefferson County, they didn't come out to a hard start, but they came back in the second half, asserted themselves, and got the win for third place in a big tournament that makes a big statement. And also a note that was big was the win against Davy Crockett, which may be a regional championship game.
I think in most people's eyes it will be.
Yeah.
Davy Crockett, they obviously had Patrick Good, who is an outstanding shooter, an outstanding scorer with the basketball in his hands. I think he had, 33 or 34 points against Jefferson County in that game, and 8 3-pointers. So absolutely, and like you said, to be able to finish third place in the Arby's Classic is an achievement in itself. I was talking to one of the sports writers up there, and they were talking about a Tri-Cities team being Dobbins Bennett, Tennessee High, Davy Crockett, Science Hill, any of those teams from up that area. It's been since 2005 since they've had a team that's been in the semifinals. And Jefferson County was able to do it in their first trip, I think, since 1988. So that was a big moment going forward. Going to Tuesday night now, fast forwarding up to Tuesday night against Seymour. Seymour came out strong. We got a little bit of foul trouble there with John and Kyle having to sit out for a little bit of the first half. We only led one at halftime. It was 40-39.
And they made 2 free throws just to get ahead one, so really Seymour commanded the whole first half. But I do think that the reserves played a big role in that, with Grant Sill stepping up with a few big buckets, and Trey Dobbins also played a big role in that.
Yeah, Trey, I know Poor said after the game that Trey Dobbins had some huge rebounds there and putbacks in the first half. It really kind of kept him on edge, kept him close enough to take that lead in the first half. But coming out into the second half, they really asserted themselves. They outscored Seymour 40-12 in the second half, and really was no contest throughout much of the second half.
No, it was not a game after the second half, and I think that was just a statement of what's coming more for the Patriots.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to the Patriots moving forward. You know, obviously state tournament appearance last year for the first time in boys basketball for the high school. They're really looking like a team right now that could very well get to that point again this season.
Yeah, I think right now they're looking a little bit maybe better than the team last year, carrying more momentum going into this big home stretch that they've had. They have more big wins. This team's carrying more confidence than I think last year's team was.
I think so as well. Fast forward now to last night, Cott County. Cott County, kind of like Seymour, came out strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was close in the first quarter. In the second half, it got. Second quarter, I'm sorry. The second quarter, they stretched the lead a little bit. I think they held a 13-point lead at halftime at 30-17, and then came out and got a little bit of run to separate them by 20 or 22 there. Cott County was able to pull it back a little bit as in the fourth quarter, and Jefferson County was able to win that game 64-48, and improved to 6-1 in the conference, 15-5 overall. Heading now into this home stretch that we've talked about. Talking to Chris Poore last night after the big win at Cott County, I said, Coach, what is it that you're most looking forward to going home, and playing in front of your fans instead of everybody else's fans? He said, obviously, I'm just really excited to see what they're going to have for us, and I think, like you alluded to before, the fans are going to play a big part in this home stretch.
Yeah, they could have a big role in maybe some games that are getting tied down the stretch, and maybe they pull away or win because they've got that home field advantage, as you would call it, for them, and they would pull away and win those games.
Right. They do have some tough games coming up. Again, like the girls, they host South Doyle on Tuesday night. South Doyle is 10-7 overall, but they're actually 5-2 in the conference, and they've actually won 2 in a row. And I think they've got some athletes on that team, much like what we've faced in the Arby's Classic.
Yeah, they have some real athletes with a UT commit running back with Jacques Bruce. They have some real athletes on their team that could give Jeff County trouble, but I think it should be a good test for them and see how they handle it.
Right. Now we fast forward to Sevier County. Obviously, Sevier County quarterback Deuce Wallace is on the basketball team as well. Mm-hmm. He's getting some looks from some big time programs. They're 11-8 coming in, but they're 4-3 in the conference, and they've lost their last 3 games by a combined 8 points. So they're going to be a tough out for Jefferson County, I do believe, as well.
Yeah, I don't think their record shows justice about how good of a team they are. They lost to Morristown East last night on a rim out 3 that could have won that game for them. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll be a good game for Jefferson County, and that against a pretty good Sevier County team. Yeah,
I think one thing to note about Sevier County is, they are 11-8. But 5 of their 8 losses on the season have come by 3 points or less. Mm-hmm. And I think, like you said, their record doesn't show just how good of a basketball team this is. And of course, anytime you get Jefferson County and Sevier County together, it's always going to be a good basketball game.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest rivalries in the IMAC, that the fans will be riled up, everybody will be riled up, the students will be riled up. So it should be a fun environment for the players to play in.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to announce our first Jefferson County Post Player of the Week. We're going to give the honor to Andrew's brother, Kyle Briggs, who over the last 6 games, he has averaged 17.7 points a game. And also, I might add that the last 5 quarters of play, he has played on a pretty hurt ankle.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your brother and what he brings to Jefferson County basketball, not just basketball. Was a 3-sport guy. Yeah. I think he held out on golf or.
Yeah.
But moving forward, he'll play baseball this spring, and just talk a little bit, not brother speak, but just your analytical opinion on Kyle.
Well, I think for the basketball team, he brings a good asset to that team. He's always hustling on the boards, and he's more that hustle guy that just goes out every night and grinds it out and gets his buckets and does the little dirty work that people don't see. You know, he works hard and gets stuff done in the classroom and on the court too.
Yeah. And I think, like you alluded to there as well, his buckets don't come from getting open and making the three-point shot or making the jump shot. Most of his points come from hustle, getting the tough rebounds, going back up, maybe getting fouled, coming to the free throw line. Kyle was also named to the all-tournament team in the Arby's Classic. He averaged 18 points per game during those 4 games in the tournament. Talk a little bit about how was he after the tournament?
Well, yeah, they were definitely happy about that and very humble about getting that, because it was a great honor to be in that, getting the Arby's Classic all-tournament team, which was all these teams, and you got picked out of lots of good athletes to be on that all-tournament team, so it's definitely an honor for him.
Yeah, I know there was a few guys that are much highly recruited across the nation. There was the guy from Milton, Georgia. He's a 6'8" forward, 235 pounds, number 44 player in the nation according to ESPN. And you know, just to be mentioned in those same type of people, you know, it has to make Kyle, and also John Bryant was also named to the all-tournament team, has to make those guys feel good and give them confidence moving forward in district play, in region play, knowing that, hey, we're playing with the best guys in the country.
Yeah, they're playing with the best guys in the country, competing well with them, and playing right there side by side with them, so it's got to give them confidence going forward that they can compete with anybody.
Let's kind of switch it up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about golf. Andrew, I know that you're a player on the Jefferson County golf team. And what is it about golf that makes Andrew Briggs tick the way he does?
Well, it's got to be definitely just the competitiveness of it. It just gets you go out there and try to stick a little white ball in a hole 500 yards away in 5 shots. Mm-hmm. That's just what gets me.
Yeah. You know, who do you have maybe a professional golfer that you try to plan your game after?
Well, like all the other golfers, it's got to be Tiger Woods. Ever since I was little, he was the reason I played and the reason why I like him.
Yeah. Well, moving forward, you know, obviously your junior season is over. Mm-hmm. Moving forward to your senior season with Jefferson County Golf, what are your expectations of yourself and for the golf team moving forward in 2015?
Well, definitely always the expectation is to make it to the state tournament and have a chance to win the state tournament. And this year, me and sophomore Jake Barnes just missed out by the state tournament by 1 shot only, which next year gives us confidence, hopefully, that we can go on forward and make it there next year. And as a team, the expectation is the same, is to make it there next year also.
Yeah. Switching over a little bit to the girls' side, you know, Kelsey Hahn really kind of led the girls' team this year. She was able to play in the state tournament. Knowing her, you know how she handled herself, do you think that will help you or anybody else who does make it to the state tournament?
Yes, definitely. It will definitely help all of us if we make it there, talk to her and how she handled herself there and what she did to prep herself for that tournament, mm-hmm. or what she did while she was there.
Well, Andrew, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully you can come back and visit with us again.
Yes, thank you for having me. Hopefully I can.
Yeah. For Andrew Briggs, I'm Michael Stanley. Thank you guys for tuning in to our first segment of the Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. A reminder, the girls and boys basketball teams play at Jefferson County for the first time this season. The girls tip off Tuesday at 6 o'clock against South Doyle. The boys will follow after that. Thank you guys, and see you next week.